Boo!
Boo.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome in. You found us once again. Shoot the Gap, a rabbit hole fantasy football focus show spanning the generation gaps of 20s, 30s, and 40s. And as you saw, that's Halloween, so surprise you guys. Got you a little bit of fried on in there because it's a Saturday when we're recording this. I am your MC, Brian the Amigo Baldwin. And it's my honor, my pleasure to introduce Ethan, the Doc Marshall. How you doing, my brother?
Doing good, man. Got my coffee. I might crap my pants at some point in this show, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're into it, yeah. And of course, there he is. Everybody wants to know, Connor.
I love it.
The Doc, or the Gut Marshall.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
All right, man. That's yeah. For some reason, dude, I get you guys confused sometimes. It must be because y'all look alike.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is our 28th show now. It's Halloween. Yeah. So
You want to think of a player with the number 28?
No. What I was gonna do was I was gonna ask you guys what
Because I
player.
can.
Oh, go for it. Okay, go for it.
Adrian Peterson.
All right. Okay. You got anything there, Ethan?
Marshall Falk.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. Well, you got me, dude, because I was not prepared for that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you won. Yeah.
He
You
ready for
scared me.
29?
Yeah. So, but I did want to ask you guys. I'll start with you, Doc. What player or players that's on your roster that you're playing that scares you the most?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Aaron Jones because I never know if he's gonna play.
How about you, Connor? Same question.
Probably Juju.
Juju? Yeah, that's a good one. Mine right now is Jamison Crowder because I just don't know when he's gonna play.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Jones.
Got that old man groin going. That's not a good thing.
Devontae Parker too. Hey, it's an honorable mention.
Yeah. How about Doc? Anybody you're going against that scares you?
Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, but you know it's shit stick with that. Connor, what about you, man? Anybody? Your opponent?
Yeah, I'm scared of a couple of guys. I have to play against Lamar Jackson, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I have to play against all of them this week. So playing against 4 guys that can boom or bust isn't necessarily calming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my biggest fear happened. I'm playing against Julio Jones.
Oh yeah, he was like evidently the only player for the Falcons.
Yeah. So
I had other players, but I think Julio is their only player. I mean, that's
Holy man.
I think Julio takes their life force before halftime or something, and that's how he
Let's see. Hold on. With the narrative we've been going with is if Julio's out there, everyone all of a sudden has more value.
maybe he heard that and he was like, "Nah, only Julio eats."
The double J power. Yeah. That's awesome. But so that was I'm also playing against Kamara, but surprisingly I'm not too worried about that considering that the weather's supposed to be real bad in Chicago, but we'll talk about that. But let's go ahead. Today is going to be our shoot or ceasefire for week 8, or the start and sit game. So we'll be talking the ones that we want to start, of course, are shoots. The one we want to sit our ceasefire. But let's go ahead and let's start with the Reaper meter. Connor, you know anything pop up? Any news about the COVID?
No news on my radar this week. I'm sorry, no news on my radar this week. For that reasoning, I'm at a 1.
All right. What about you, Ethan?
There were some reports throughout the week of people testing positive, but the reports today there were no new positives. Everything's moving forward as scheduled. So I haven't moved on my Reaper meter as well.
So 1. So you've been a 1. You're a 1 also. Yeah, and everybody, it's 1 to 5. 1 being like we're not worried about the season ending. That's what the Reaper meter is for. If the season's going to end. And number 5, of course, it's all we're going into a depression because football's stopping. But basically, just to go a little bit on piggybacking on Ethan, The players that were put on the list was New York Giants guard Will Hernandez, Tampa Bay equipment manager, and another operations staff member. And also the Chargers canceled a practice due to Ryan Groy testing positive. So it's still some Vikings and Broncos. But yeah, as of Saturday, everything looks good. Even those games I talked about are not in jeopardy. So yeah, I'm in a one. Yeah. So and all right, and so we're just gonna go ahead and just jump into real quick before we do the fire and or the shoot and ceasefire. Sorry, it's got a couple of things I want to talk about. Dude, this is the time. I think this week is whenever the trading deadline is. There's a lot of smoke going on
in the NFL.
Yes, in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, not on the well, it might be on some of y'all's fantasy teams. Why not on ours because I'm the commissioner and I moved the trade deadline
as losers that don't
as far
trade.
back as I could. Yeah. Yeah, because dude, that's just come on, man. It should be going all year long, in my opinion. But in real life football, Cincinnati sent their former Pro Bowl defensive end Carlos Dunlap to the Seahawks. So that definitely beefs up the Seahawks. Their run defenses already was big, but now they got a little extra. So, yeah, maybe that's how they're going to attack their problems with their secondary is that they're just going to make it like more of an aggressive attack. They won't have time to pass. So maybe that's what they're doing. But there's a couple of rumors, and I want to go back and forth real quick. And if any of you guys I'm going to go to you, Doc, and then you, Connor. And so, but if I'm talking to Connor and Doc, you have something to say, please chime in. Vice versa. Cool. All right. Okay, guy named man. All right. So I'll start with you, Connor. Golden Tate is said to be on the trading block. Okay. Yeah. So if he gets traded to a team, let's say like Green Bay, let's say Seattle. I love wide receivers. Yeah. What would Gene say about
I love it.
That's Seattle looking at wide receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, let's say somebody like Green Bay. What would you think about that? Is that something that's even worth
no, because the timing is a little off right now because Lazard is practicing again.
Okay. If he lands
let's say he goes to the Rams. Okay.
San Francisco's one.
I actually would rather him be on the Rams for fantasy than San Francisco.
Okay.
But I see what you're saying, or maybe the Chargers or one of the myriads of other California teams. He could land on one of those, right?
Sure.
I'd pick him up for fantasy if I was if I needed a guy.
Would you pick him up now in the anticipation?
If T. Higgins is not available, yes.
Okay. All right. And then Doc, AJ Green is also said to be on the block. How are you feeling about that? He's been picking it up. He got 11 targets 2 weeks ago, 13 targets last week. So the thought was that either he all of a sudden he came alive, or they're showcasing him for a trade.
That's what I was thinking. It would depend heavily on where he ended up.
Same destinations, San Francisco or Green Bay.
I'd be more attracted to Green Bay if he ended up there, because to me, betting on the wide receiver core of San Francisco is kind of you think about the quarterback play you have in San Francisco versus Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you want to invest in?
Well, sure. But there is that narrative of Emmanuel Sanders. Whenever he got traded from the Broncos last year, he just exploded in San Francisco. So, Green,
Yeah, it's possible. I was still more attracted to Green Bay.
Would you pick him up in anticipation of a trade if he's in your pool?
If he's available, yes.
Okay.
In a lot of leagues, he's still rostered.
Yeah, and Connor, John Ross wants to trade the wide receiver from Cincinnati. Does that mean anything to you?
No, but he could go. He could go to the Texans.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm not saying that like it's a positive thing.
Yeah. I think the Texans are more at sell mode right now. Yeah. So but that's another. In fact, let's go and talk about that since that one went really fast with you, and you probably want to have a lot more to say on this particular situation. Will Fuller to the Packers. That's what that's being said.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'd love to see that for fantasy.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
Devontae Adams owners do not want to see that happen.
I know.
They will be sharing those points with Will Fuller.
and how about Tonka owners? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll drop at that point.
Yeah, Tonka's already out on that spot with Devontae Adams back. But Randall Cobb, Brandon Cooks, what if they get moved? Is that something you'd want to pick up?
Not.
I would lean more towards Brandon Cooks than I would Randall Cobb.
Okay. Yeah, but okay, how about then? Would you pick up Randall Cobb with the anticipation of Brandon Cooks or Will Fuller being sent out?
Do you want to get this, Connor, or can I get it?
Get it.
If Randall Cobb was gone, I would most definitely run after Brandon Cooks. Most definitely. If it was Brandon Cooks leaving and Randall Cobb was still there, I would still be tempted, but I wouldn't rush to it the same way.
Okay, so everything right. So that's all just like because of all the speculation on that situation. Just hold it. Connor, the Patriots, dude, they said that they're listening to offers on almost anybody. Okay, so there's talk of like Julian Edelman being moved. And I know that he's been having a bad year. He had that, was it career game on the first game of the season, and then he got the injury, which is getting fixed. He should be back in about 2 or 3 weeks. Julian Edelman, somebody to look to pick up.
Yeah, the mouse is mighty as long as he gets his shot right.
Exactly. So if he went to San Francisco or Green Bay, how would you feel about that?
I'm not excited in wide receivers going to the Niners, and I'm going to reiterate that probably every time if Antonio Brown went to the Niners, I wouldn't be excited about him being there as I would him being on the Buccaneers.
Interesting. And Ethan, do you share the same things on that?
I don't know. There's something about like the way Edelman plays and his role like as a slot receiver. I feel like he could flourish a bit more in the 49ers offense than because I just see him as kind of like doing a similar thing to George Kittle.
Yeah.
Garoppolo goes. So I had actually, if it was Edelman going to the 49ers, I would actually be tempted for that.
My issue with Edelman is he isn't big enough to block consistently, and they want big wide receivers that can block for their schemes.
That's a good point.
Okay, so but if you landed in some place like let's say the Chargers, with Herbert up and going, or
no, I think I'm going to be honest. I think we're taking a little too much time on this. I don't think Jules is getting shipped out this year. I think I think the Patriots are gonna. I mean, they still have Cam. They're at a rocky place right now, but they're playing Buffalo.
Okay,
this week will be a deciding factor.
Who do you think would be tradable? Harris, Demetrius Harris, Sony Michel, Wills or White. What do you think, dude? Yeah, and you're right. We are putting a little too much sunlight on the subject, but yeah, just real quick, do you want to get your opinion on that? Then we'll move
I don't think any of those guys are getting traded.
Okay, cool. Then there you go on that. Then, all right. Then let's go and just push it along real quick. There's some, the MASH unit. We just real quick going to do got to talk about the injuries that are popping up for tomorrow and Monday. So of course, I don't like to break bad news in a bad way. I like to do it in a good way. So we'll start off with I call it the early Merry Christmas, but this is a surprise early Merry Christmas because these are kind of odd. All right. So we'll just go bounce back and forth. Doc, I'll tell you Merry Christmas. You tell me who the beneficiary is, back and forth, Connor and Doc. And I'm trusting you this time, Connor. I know last time, but yeah, I'm trusting you this time, my brother. Okay. So Doc, Merry early Christmas, Marquez Callaway owners. Why is that?
Oh my gosh.
My name is Brian.
I know this. I know this. It's not. It's the star wide receiver for the Chicago Bears, not Anthony Miller.
The rookie.
I know who it is. Something Anderson, right? No, that's not right. I don't know why I'm blanking. It's too early. It's
yeah. You're thinking about Allen Robinson, but
Robinson. Yes.
No, sir. That's actually that was the target leader while Michael Thomas was out on the Saints.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. However, that was a fooled you, type thing because he's hurt too. It's Smith. It's Traquan Smith time. Connor's favorite guy. Traquan Smith time. Yeah. So there we go. But Connor, oh man, I'm not gonna do this to you. That's a jerk move. Merry early Christmas, Harrison Bryant owners.
Harrison Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
you always ask him the ones I actually know.
Yeah.
Well, jump in then.
Oh, you also asked me about players that I specifically don't or teams I don't pay attention to, like the Browns tight end position.
Uh-huh.
So that's who this guy is, and he caught 2 touchdowns last week against Cincinnati. I think it's worth noting whenever people blow up, if their first blow up is against Cincinnati, that means something. Because that means that they blew up not against a real team that plays defense. They blew up against Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. You put it like in Italian with
I
that.
know.
Cincinnati.
And he didn't even
Giovanni.
He didn't even have a good game. He had 5 targets, and 2 of them happened to be touchdowns. So he's getting a lot of red zone targets. Now, here's the thing. He's on the Browns. Do the Browns have enough power with Odell gone to get into the red zone? Because we talked about this last week because it was weird. Baker threw 5 touchdowns when Odell was gone. So, Brian, what I guess I'm asking you is, do you think that this tight end is going to be something moving forward?
Well, the question was Merry Early Christmas, Harrison Bryant owners. Who does it benefit?
Well, we know who it benefits. It benefits the owners of Austin Hooper.
Oh, but yeah. Who does it
benefits? The Bryant owners because
there was reports that that Baker Mayfield leans on the tight ends as long as Austin Hooper's out. And it's appendicitis. I just listened this morning to a doctor talking about Austin Hooper's situation specifically, and he said that the surgery it's not a major surgery, but it takes about a month to recover. So for about a month, he's going to be out. I would say he's definitely somebody that is startable today, but not next week because next week is their bye. So I wouldn't do that.
Just to talking about Baker Mayfield, I mean, you bring up the point about OBJ. I think a lot of people are making the point that when OBJ is gone, he does better because he doesn't feel obligated to try and force OBJ targets to feed his ego.
That's weird, but yeah, that's what this data says. So, okay. Then Doc, Merry Early Christmas, Denzel Mims owners.
Denzel Mims,
Rookie,
Jamison Crowder.
You got it. You got it. All right. And then
that was a deep cut, man.
Yeah. Connor, Merry Early Christmas, Mike Glennon or Jake Luton owners. Why?
I don't know.
Gardner Minshew fractured his thumb. Those are the
well,
two
if there's one thing we love, it's backup quarterbacks for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Doc, let me do this one instead. Okay. No. I'll go to Connor and you'll see why.
Russell Gage. Is this Russell Gage?
No, this is the one that I skipped. For Connor, so I'll give it to you. Merry Early Christmas, Giovanni Bernard owners. Why is that, Doc?
Joe Mixon is out again.
Yeah, but I firmly think he's going to be back though after the bye. I firmly think that. Yeah. And then Connor, I'll give you the one that I was like, no, I'm not going to get a Doc. Merry Early Christmas, Jamal Williams owners.
I know that one because of Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Moving forward, it's not rubbing it in. It's guaranteeing we know the answer.
It's very true.
Well, but dude, it stings. It just stings. Yeah. But
gotta laugh about it.
Yeah. Okay, Doc. Merry Early Christmas, Stephon Diggs owners. This is a deep cut.
Oh, what? Stephon Diggs owners?
Yeah, it's coming from another angle. Coming from the other angle, the other side. If you want to say, give up, I got you, dude. Because it's coming from the other angle.
Okay. So this is gonna be someone in the secondary for New England. God, this is the guy that caught the interception in the Super Bowl, right? Oh, dang it, man. I don't know his name off the top of my head. But
dude, that is awesome that you even got that far. Wow.
You talking about Malcolm Butler?
Woo-hoo! No, Stephon Gilmore.
Stephon
Yeah.
Gilmore.
Yeah. He just got an MRI on his knee, so he probably won't be playing. So that's just, yeah, that's a gift. Yeah. And how about this, Connor? This is coming from another Merry Early Christmas, Calvin Ridley owners.
Oh, I was yeah, because well,
Why would I say that? Why would I say that?
because Calvin Ridley got injured.
And he's okay. Yeah, he should be. Yeah, he's not gonna be. It's not a major injury. He's gonna be out for about maybe a week or two. Yeah, so it's not a major injury. So that's a Christmas gift, dude, for Calvin Ridley. Who do you think that it benefits, Connor?
I know.
I
saw
yeah, Julio.
Well, yeah, of course.
I mean, he's Julio Jones, but I saw Hayden Hurst get a lot of love, and I saw actually Hayden Hurst was the main beneficiary, but I think Gage got some more love too.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think Hayden Hurst is going to get a little bit more looks, but I don't know, man. We'll see how all that goes. I mean, Russell Gage, maybe, I don't know. I think he's down a little bit. So okay, and then just real quick, that's the ones that are out. Now this is guess who's back again. Dalvin Cook, Jalen Reagor, and a surprise, Dallas Goedert is back.
Whoa!
Yeah. Just the news just came out this morning that they're activating him for the Cowboy game, and he's good to go. They impressed during practice.
All right, very
So
good.
do you play Connor? Would you play that guy? You know, considering the situation, and the fact that that it's Sunday night.
No.
No, you don't play him. Like even if it's against,
I would
against the
I would be
Cowboys?
scared. What if he doesn't suit, like if you have him, that means he's probably in an IR slot, which means you have another guy. So if you put him in, that could mess up your whole thing. It just seems like a completely unnecessary move.
Even though it's against the Cowboys, and the fact that right now Philadelphia's on top of the division, and if they lose this game and the Cowboys win,
Okay.
then they're either going to be tied with first or they're going to be on top.
I think you misunderstood my answer. What I'm saying is if you own Dallas Goedert,
Mhm.
so you own Dallas Goedert. Where was Dallas Goedert for you?
Oh, in my IR.
He's in your IR. So you had another tight end, right?
What kind of?
Right. Kind of.
Yeah.
Well, like Goddard he's a shot to play for tonight. Okay, this is the first time in weeks that we've considered him playing a game. He has not gone out and played the game yet, and we know how this goes. So you're flipping a coin for if he's playing or not. And when you flip that coin, by the time you know if he's playing or not, your other guy might have already played, and you might get zero because of that. So that's what I'm saying. Unless you feel really ballsy, no.
Yeah. Even though it's against the Cowboys, I mean, it seems like they pulled
That
them out.
the matchup doesn't change the probability of the guy playing or not playing. It's an irrelevant stat for this equation.
It does smell a lot like they're activating him for just in case if Rodgers gets hurt.
Yeah.
That it does smell a lot like that. I mean, I'll give you that, dude. I'll give you that.
Because they let Fant play last week, bro. But same thing. He was a decoy.
Hey, that's a very good comp. Very good comp. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's go on to the shoot
Mosey on down.
or ceasefire.
I like that. Ceasefire.
Ceasefire.
No, don't do that, Doc. Ceasefire.
I was thinking of the Crossfire, that old game from when.
No, actually, dude, you did add a lot to that. Yeah.
Ceasefire.
Yeah.
Okay, so breaking news, Allen Robertson just cleared concussion protocol and is expected to play tomorrow. He was listed as doubtful and hadn't practiced, so Allen Robinson owners. I tried that twice, it wasn't getting better. I was like, why do I think his name is Alice?
See, you're telling me like Canther. You're getting all on that Canther.
Panther.
Surgery went well then.
Panther. Allison Robinson. Okay, so let's get this started. Let's get this party started.
Wow, what a way
The-
to, that's a weird omen.
Allen Robinson. The
Started off like that.
New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills are playing this week. And the New England Patriots at 2-4 are expected to lose this game. Buffalo are 4-point favorites with a 40.5-point over-under spread. I am
All right.
taking Buffalo. I'm saying they're going to get more than 4, and I'm taking the under on this game.
That's a really good line. What would you say the score is?
Well, it's going to be under 40.5, so I think it's going to be a close game. It's not going to be real high scoring.
Okay.
So less
Cool.
than 20 points a pop.
All right. Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think this is going to be a hard-fought game. I think that the Patriots are going to come back, and they're going to slap the Bills in the mouth in the first half, and the Bills are going to come back.
All right. Do you think that maybe it's because the weather's a factor? I mean, it's going to be 50, falling down to the 40 degrees. There's going to be rain and snow, and there's going to be 24 to 30 mile an hour winds.
Sounds like a run matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's why, like with me, I would shoot all over the New England D, and all over the Buffalo D.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I would do. But that's all that I would start for New England is the defense. And then Buffalo, I would shoot on Josh Allen, Cole Beasley, because I figured that'd be kind of a shorter thing. Stephon Diggs, because I mean it's kind of hard to sit that guy. Zach Moss, and maybe Dingle Siggins.
Dingleberry.
Dingleberry. Can we call
His
him
name's
Dingletary?
Dingleberry now, man.
No, Dingletary. Dingletary.
Dingle carry.
Dingletary.
Dingletary.
Dingletary. Yeah, that's who we're. That's how I would. I mean, I don't know, but I like Zach Moss. He's on his way up. I would sit, but definitely sit the kicker, and also John Brown because he's kind of banged up. What about you, Doc?
Yep, I'm in on all those. It is, you got burned by Cam Newton if you had him last week, but the fact that this is going to be such a run-heavy game, that's when he has value. He didn't run the ball last week. He didn't do that, and he didn't perform well. I think we're going to see a lot of that read option stuff, so it's tempting. And the Bills' defense is not the same as it was last year. It's not nearly as dominant. I'm tempted, but in my own league, I am not starting Cam, so I'm not going to recommend that people do that, but it is tempting.
Right? Yeah, I got you. Anything more?
No, let's move on.
Moving on.
The Tennessee Titans at the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, this game is going to be an interesting one. Cincinnati is 5-1 on the season, while Tennessee is just 5-1. Now, Tennessee they are 7-point favorites in this game with a 51.5-point over-under matchup. I myself am taking the over and Tennessee to win by more than 7.
Nice. I like that. This is another weather game. 51 falling down to 40, and the winds will be between 15 and 25 miles an hour. Okay, so this is So, who would you shoot all over, Doc?
Derrick Henry for certain. Giovanni Bernard. I think both of those guys are going to get work. Because of the weather thing, you're nervous, but I'm still starting Ryan Tannehill, and I'm starting AJ Brown, Jonnu Smith, and I would start if you have him, if you're rolling with him, I'd start Joe Burrow and T. Higgins.
Yes, I'd start him too.
What about Drew Sample?
No.
Tight end for Cincinnati. I mean,
No.
Tennessee is was really bad on.
Yeah, I'd start Sample, and then I would also start AJ Green because they're shopping him. They want to showcase him. They're telling Joe Burrow, "Hey man, give him the ball so we can trade him for value."
Well, Green leads the NFL in air yards over the last 2 weeks, and the Titans have allowed the most fantasy points to outside receivers over the last month. So I feel you on Green. Yeah. I'm just worried about this weather if it can support more than one passer. So I like T Higgins over Green, and I like Sample because of the matchup. But I just think the wind's going to really keep things down. I like Giovanni because he's the only thing there, and he's guaranteed all those touches. How productive he's going to be with it, I don't know. Tennessee's defense is pretty tough. Since it's a windy game, they're going to be expecting the run, and he's actually does his best whenever he's pass catching. And again, the wind is a problem.
But I would say that the shorter passes, the backfield passes, the checkdowns are going to be the ones that see the most, I think, in a game like this. So
sure. Yeah, no, I got you. I just don't know what he's going to do with it, because of Tennessee's defense. Yeah.
Well, like we said, it's going to be a windy game, but it's still got a pretty high over/under, so we'll see.
Yeah, I would sit all the kickers, and I would sit the Cincinnati D, but I would start Tennessee's D. And other than everything you just said, I agree with everything you said, Doc. I think it's gonna be a shootout, though. I do think it's gonna be a shootout.
There it is.
Like just like a high-scoring game with a lot of wind. We'll see.
Okay, moving on. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Cleveland Browns are playing, and the Raiders sitting at 3-3. The Browns are at 5-2. This game, Browns are favored to win by 2 with a 49.5 over/under. Now, this game, I'm actually taking the Raiders to win, and I am taking the under.
Really?
Yes.
The Raiders to win, huh?
Because no OBJ.
Yeah, I think Las Vegas is I think they're really weak on defending the run. And so I think that and it's another weather game. It's going to be 51 falling to 40. There's going to be rain and snow, winds between 28 and 35 miles an hour. Okay, so Vegas is tough. Their weakness is defending the run. It looks like it's a run focus. It's going to be a run heavy game. They're going against Kareem Hunt. So I like your optimism.
My thinking is the Raiders can sludge with anybody with Josh Jacobs.
Oh yeah, look what they did to KC. I mean, you have a platform. You do have a foot to stand on. You're not crazy. Who would you start or shoot all over, Connor?
Okay, look, for the Browns, the only names you shouldn't be concerning yourselves with the names that I'm not listing. Okay, if I'm not listing them, it's because they're not important to fantasy and they aren't worth our time. Kareem Hunt.
Wow.
The backup for Kareem Hunt. This week, start the tight end, see what he does.
What's his name? Which one?
He's not worth me naming. He's not worth me remembering. It's Bryant something. It's not important. Don't start the kicker.
It's not Dearness Johnson. That's not the backup for Kareem Hunt.
I thought you were talking about the tight end.
No, but you said the backup
Johnson something. Yeah, Dearness Johnson.
Okay, Dearness Johnson. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Landry. Start up Landry. Like I said, maybe start up the tight end. I don't know how good the Browns kicker is. I'm not really monitoring that. As far as kickers go, really what's important about kickers, guys, is we don't have to go through every kicker every week and tell you if they're good or bad. What really is important is stuff like this. If you own Zane Gonzalez, he's on a bye right now, so you need a good kicker to pick up who's still available in a league. And a good pick for that would be someone like McManus, who the Doc owns. He's available in most leagues. I had to pick him up in 2 leagues because Zane Gonzalez is out. Those are really the only Browns people that I would start. On the Raiders, I would start Josh Jacobs, of course. That's not really a question. I don't think starting the Walrus is a question either. I think, yeah. I don't think that starting Carr is a question either. Obviously, you don't do it if you want to win your fantasy game. Am I forgetting anyone?
I wouldn't start Nelson Aguilar and Daniel Carlson.
I don't think he's worth.
Yeah, see, I want to
mention in 12-team leagues.
He's the long haul guy, and you got a terrible weather game.
Yeah, but you also have Ruggs.
Well, see, I wouldn't start Ruggs either. Dude, I would keep it short, especially with Carr, because look.
Yeah, but Ruggs still operates under the slot sometimes.
That's okay. That's great. Yeah, but I just think again, we can only do one wide receiver, and if you look at the slot, then you're looking at Hunter Renfrow. Yeah. And that's somebody that I would start in Vegas.
So you would start Hunter Renfrow and sit Henry Ruggs.
Yes, I would.
Okay.
In this game, dude, because the wind and Derek Carr is already erratic, and all it takes is a good gust, and that ball goes a little high, it's already a little off trajectory. I would start both defenses because of the wind. Let's see here. I agree with Connor about sitting a lot of the wide receivers. I would sit, the quarterbacks. So yeah, I pretty much am behind you. The Rashard Higgins, the darling for the waiver wire, I would sit him because of the weather, but I think going forward he might be good. So, but yeah, I would start Harrison Bryant. I would. Anything more to add, Ethan?
No, I was just gonna say Rashard Higgins, I think, deserves looking at, but
yeah, the weather, the wind. You want to pick the? I'll pick the wind. I think that. Okay? No, you did. Connor, you picked the wind.
I did.
One, so,
I did.
So we'll
I said the
keep,
Raiders, but that's
Yep. We'll keep going. No, that's what you
Yeah.
feel. You're
that's
the
what
gut.
I feel.
That's
But
you're the gut.
if you guys disagree, that's totally fine.
I do, but you're the gut, and it was your shot, and so yeah, we're moving on.
Thank you, brother.
You're
Next, we
welcome.
have the Indianapolis Colts and the Detroit Lions, the Battle of the Blue, and the not very good. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. We have one team that really likes to run the ball. They really think that they're good at it. And then we have the Colts, who are actually good at running the ball. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, you're talking about DeAndre Swift, right? DeAndre Swift, dude. That's a guy that I'm lamenting. I drafted him and I dropped him because I lost faith in what they were doing, but he seems to be picking up. But they said that the coach did come out and said that he was gonna have an expanded role. But what that led to was him seeing 44% of the team snaps and earning 13 touches. So that's what you're looking at. That was higher than Adrian Peterson, who had 31% and saw 12 touches, and of course, Kerryon Johnson's not really anybody to mention. So he looks like he's picking up. But I would definitely sit the Matthew Stafford. Because the Colts defense, they've ceded the fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks this season, which makes me happy because I'm playing against Matthew Stafford. So hopefully that works out. One guy I did want to mention that Connor absolutely loves is if you guys are watching on the YouTube, you'll see his eyes light up really quick when I say this name. Jonathan Taylor. See his eyes.
J-Train.
See him sparkle. Yeah. I think that he faces a Lions defense that allowed the 5th most fantasy points to running back. So I think he's going to be a really big hit. And of course Kenny Golladay, I think is going to be good. I would start Blankenship, of course, and then Trey Burton. I would start.
I think
him.
Blankenship is a locked in. You're not sitting him. You're not sitting him. You're not sitting Koo. You're not sitting Sly. You're not sitting Gonzalez, Tucker, or Butker.
Unless they're playing up
Lutz.
like 30.
Yeah. This is the first game we've done, guys. The weather hasn't been a factor because it's in a dome. What about Marcus Johnson? Led the team in the Indianapolis Colts in targets before the bye.
I'm not trusting any receiver because Trey Burton's had big games. Like Rivers is kind of shoddy as a passer.
Mm-hmm. No, I got you, dude. I got you. And of course, we would sit Adrian Peterson, Marvin Jones. Would sit. What about and start the D for Indianapolis? Did I miss anybody, Doc?
Nope.
No, I'm taking the over on this game with Indy to win. It's a 49.5 point over under.
You know what? I'm seeing how this is going. Dude, how about you just pick the games for us? Yeah, because
I have the.
Yeah, why don't you just do it, dude? Instead of like Ethan and I going, well, I think, dude, you got it right there. So how about you just
automatic?
You seem to be on a roll on it. You're really smart with numbers, so I think we handed it to the right guy.
L'chaim. So next we got Next, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. Battle of the NFC North. One of these teams is really good, and one of them is 1-5. So I think the Packers are going to pack the Vikings fudge. They're going to show them what it looks like to get raped and pillaged, if you know what I'm saying.
Yikes. Yeah, well, this is another weather game. There's going to be 25-mile-an-hour winds and gusts up to 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's...
And to give you an idea, like whenever I was trying to decide between Aaron Rodgers or pivoting to Herbert, when I was driving my wife around and I got up to about 40 miles an hour, I stuck my hand out the window and I was like, can I throw a football in this? I'm like, you know what? I don't think I can. And I remember like whenever that hurricane hit, one of the ones that hit Louisiana that came close to us, you know, we got a lot of wind in my house and I was telling my wife what I was doing. And she's like, Brian, that was like 30 miles an hour wind gusts that was hitting the house, you know? So think about that. I'm like, well, damn, dude, that's going to be what's going to be, you know, that strong, and then gusts up to 4. I'm like, it's a crappy defense. It's hard for me to start Rodgers. I mean, I love Rodgers. I traded for him. I would love to start him, but I don't know if I can trust it, dude. So, and I guess by extension, though, I guess I would be Devontae Adams. I mean, this is a weird territory for me. Help me out of here, Doc.
Yeah, I feel you. I do think though, like where you picked up. If you drafted Aaron Rodgers or traded for him, there is a pivot option. But replacing Devontae Adams, I mean, like, there's someone who's going to get some points. The wide receivers, these games don't lead to wide receivers getting nothing, right? And so if anyone's going to get anything, it's going to be Devontae Adams. So I'm definitely starting Devontae Adams if I have him. I'm with you on benching Rodgers. Really, the only other offensive player that I'm interested in starting is Jamal Williams.
Yep. On Green Bay. Yep. Yeah. I'm right there with you on that.
Minnesota, it's the same essentially. The only person I'm really maybe Thielen. Maybe.
Oh, you're feeling Thielen?
Thielen, and Jefferson. And the reason why is even though the weather is bad, the Vikings are gonna be in a hole. They're going to have to pass it whether they want to or not. So someone's going to get some points. Of course, you're starting Dalvin Cook. It's going to be a battle of the run, but I think that the Packers are going to win that handily and push the Vikings into where they have to pass.
Question. It was reported yesterday, Dalvin Cook was good to go. He's fine. But then, and he went to healthy. And then yesterday he went back to questionable. Is that a concern?
I'm not a Dalvin Cook owner, thankfully. You know what? I'm just rolling with it, and you have no choice as of right now. You know, I mean, chances are you have a top 5 running back, or you got to pivot. So you're gonna ride with him until you know.
No Cook. Who do you go with, Madison? Because it's gonna be hard to pass.
Oh, man, I don't think after seeing what Madison has done in Cook's absence before. I am not confident at all.
I think I agree with you on that. I wouldn't start any of the kickers. I would sit Minnesota's defense all the time. That's a permanent sit. Like Blankenship's a permanent start. Minnesota's defense a permanent sit. But I would start Green Bay's defense. So I think I agree with you on. I wouldn't even worry about starting like the tight ends for Minnesota or even Cousins. I wouldn't start Jefferson only because of its passing, and I just think that it's only going to be good enough for one person to get the ball, and it's going to be Thielen. So I think Thielen and Cook is who I would choose. And if Lazard, Connor, if Lazard plays, do you start him?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what do you want to end it with? Calling the game and see, or unless there's anybody that we miss.
Oh no. I'll call it a game. So it's
Tonka.
I'm taking
Tonka. Tonka. Sit Tonka.
Sit Tonka.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah, sit Tonka, guys. We were a little eager McBeaver on saying he was going to be a thing. I'm taking the over, and I'm taking Green Bay to win by more than the 6.5 spread. Okay. They're supposed to win by.
Nice. Is this going to be a high scoring game or no?
No.
Well, I mean, I'm taking the over on a 50.5 game, but that's not necessarily high scoring.
Okay. I
just think that the defenses are bad.
Agreed. Yeah. I agree.
Speaking of bad defenses, moving on, the New York Jets and the Kansas City Chiefs. And Chiefs gonna chief, and Jets gonna jet on out of there with another loss, if you ask me. I'm starting Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mahomes, Eclair, and Bell. And then obviously I'm starting the D and the kicker. So those are the 6 stable starts.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell, revenge game.
Revenge game, bitches.
Yeah, I said it like that because most people do the big, and I want to be different. So no, it's revenge game. See, it's a little different, right?
I have a joke, but I'm not gonna.
No,
say it.
don't worry. Okay, yeah, yeah, I would definitely. I'm excited about Le'Veon Bell. Whenever I was able to grab him, this is the game that I was looking for. I know it was hard to draw an exact conclusion from his game last week because it was in a snowstorm, but I do. All indications are that his offense, his role in the offense is going to grow,
Yes.
and that he got 6.5 yards per carry in Denver. And ran 11 routes. So I think that it's just going to be something where they're going to start Eclair. So I think he's worth starting, but I think they're going to run with Bell because, dude, come on. Who's not going to give Bell his chance to Zach revenge on an Adam Gase? And yes, and that was a cue. Doc.
My iPad just shut off. Hold on.
Okay. Well,
I got it.
yeah. So see, that's what I mean. You think he wants to go and just like prove it to him that you shouldn't have cut him, and you know that he actually was worth something. And this is what I mean. So yeah, dude, he's gonna have fire, dude. I'm excited about putting him in my flex. I would not start, or I would cease fire on Hardman and Demarcus Robinson. And I wouldn't, and of course, the only people that I would, well, Connor, would you shoot on the Michael Pirine, the
No.
Kansas City run defense ranks 31st in the league,
No.
Okay.
Not in a game where he's favored to lose by 19.5 points.
Yeah.
And I'm taking the over on that, my friend.
Yeah, and
That is a hell of a thing, man. You don't know what can happen in garbage time.
That's true.
You're right.
Garbage time is probably going to start in the first half.
Here's the problem with garbage time. This is what I've noticed. Generally, it's one guy that absorbs the bulk of the garbage time targets. And you don't necessarily know who that guy is going to be.
Yeah, I would lean on it being the running back and whoever catches out of the backfield for the Jets.
Well, that's
Because
spring.
the secondary in Kansas City is good. And pushing the ball down the field is probably going to result in interceptions.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. One would think it would be the running back, right? But what if they start throwing to slot wide receivers? Or what if they start throwing to tight ends, right? See, you don't...
Okay.
Yeah, but my point was that the secondary for Kansas City is solid. So, I mean, they could start throwing to him. That might not work out well.
Yeah, but if you're running like a 3-yard route and you're just crossing over the middle, you can avoid the secondary.
So you're saying Herndon then?
Yeah.
Maybe. That's what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, there's going to be garbage time. Probably one guy or two guys will do good, but we don't know which guy it would be necessarily.
Supposedly that guy's on a trade block too, but I didn't think he was worth mentioning.
Yeah, I don't think he is. That was a good call.
Herndon. But one thing, Connor, is that Perryman and Crowder are both hurt, so the only like startable tight wide receiver is Mims. So what you might be saying might be right, Connor, because they won't be going deep because they'll be adding extra attention to Mims, so they'll be going either short to either the running back, which is Pirine, or Herndon. Or maybe Ryan Griffin since he's healthy. Who
but
knows?
this is going to be an ugly game. I don't know why we're spending so much time on it.
But you're talking about garbage time. Yeah, that's what
right.
do garbage time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call it. What is it going to be?
It's going to be Kansas City. We're taking the under. And we're taking Kansas City to win more by their appointed 19.5 favorite spread.
Whoa!
Yes.
Holy mackerel! Yeah, Le'Veon Bell's gonna. Sheesh.
That's what I'm saying. I could see him getting 3 touchdowns.
And then next week he's gonna be nothing. Yeah. So trade Heidel might be on after this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
So speaking of things that are going to be nothing next week,
Uh-oh.
I'm joking, but the Los Angeles Rams and the Miami Dolphins, the battle of the animals, who will win, the horned goat or the dolphin that allegedly is on a higher wavelength than humans, depending on which scientist you talk to. Now the Dolphins are sitting over here at 3-3, and they have a lot of guys that are not doing what we want them to do for fantasy.
Oh, and we have a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's two at a time.
But if you have Gesicki, you have been mostly unhappy this year, and I'm sorry for anyone who drafted him because of me. I hope you also had Jonnu Smith like I did.
What was being said about in the off season leading up to the preseason to the eventual season was that Tua's he's one of the most efficient and accurate quarterbacks, and so yeah, and of course, like I've always said, the two things that are a new quarterback's best friend is a pass catching running back and a tight end. And so Gesicki, and he runs the slot also, Gesicki. So Gesicki actually might start coming up, but right now, yes, I would definitely sit him until we see exactly what's happening. Same thing with Tua. Preston Williams is also on that. The defense in Miami, I would sit. The kicker in Miami, I would sit, even though he's leading. He's one of the top point scorers in the league. Sanders, I think this is his name. And I would sit also or cease fire on Devontae Parker, because he's dealing with a groin injury. He's facing a Rams defense that ceded the second fewest fantasy points to wide receivers this season, and he'll be catching from a QB making his first ever start against that line, which you know exactly who I'm talking about. Who would you shoot on, Doc, for the Rams? I'd only shoot on Gaskin. Sorry, I didn't say that.
I was gonna say Gaskin's the only player I'm interested in with the Dolphins. Well, the Rams, I'd start Woods. I'd start Kupp. I'd start Henderson. I would start excuse me, I'm blanking. Is Higbee back in or not?
Well, I mean, he has a hand issue, but let's just say if he is, would you start him? And if he's not, what effect would that have?
I'd start Higbee if he's healthy. If he's out, I'd start Everett.
Okay, there we go.
And I'd start the Rams defense because they're going to get to Tua.
Yeah, good point.
They're going to get to him.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. What about Malcolm Brown?
Oh, man, you know what? I say start Henderson, but as soon as I said it, I'm like, I hate betting on that backfield. Mm-hmm. But if I had to pick someone, it's going to be Henderson.
I agree. I'd only start Malcolm Brown if I thought that it's going because of the defense, because of Tua's first start, it's going to be like a runaway game, and so when they do that, they're going to be putting it in Brown's hands, not in Henderson's hands.
Yeah. I can see that happening easily.
Yeah. Do we miss anything there, Connor?
No. I'm
all right. What do you think's call the game?
Which game are we talking about? The Rams Dolphins still. I'm sorry. I'm scripting ahead. Look, guys, this game isn't very sexy. That's why I'm not paying attention to it. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the Rams to win.
Okay. And what's the point score of
So they're 3-point favorites, but I have them winning by more than that.
What did they say how many point spreads? What the amount?
45 and a half.
Okay, your take underneath. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
So moving on, we have this is actually my favorite game of the week because I've been waiting to see this all year. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens are playing. So we have the Ravens 5-1, Steelers 6-0. This is when we really see whose dick is bigger. This is when we get to see, we really get to see which team is going to win, because everyone thought the Ravens they were going to be the team to win it all last year. So the serious contenders in the AFC right now are the Titans, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Steelers. No one cares about the AFC South. It doesn't matter. It's not a real division. The best, besides the Titans, of course. No one cares about the other teams in that division.
Hey, what the Robinson.
They suck.
Robinson's good. I love Robinson.
I know you love Robinson.
Not no slouch. We haven't seen the Colts play the Titans yet, have we?
The Colts are good, but this is what I'm saying. The Colts will get into the playoffs, and Rivers will throw like 7 interceptions and then get benched.
Well, we're getting off topic here. But yeah.
Whenever Connor starts making points, we're getting off topic. Yeah, let's get back on topic.
About the playoffs when we're trying
Playoffs? Okay. I'm sorry. I got excited. I'm starting
great.
Connor. I'm starting Big Ben. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm starting Juju and Claypool, man. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is what we're looking at. We have Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster, James Washington, Deontay Johnson. Those are 4 guys that have all been eating on a week-to-week basis. One of those guys has been scoring double-digit points every week. So the problem is not that the Steelers have the volume; it's that Ben is spreading it around. And I think that will settle when the injuries, because Deontay Johnson got injured again, so he's probably going to be out again another week. So if you have Claypool, fire him up.
All right, I got a question about Juju, because I have him as a ceasefire. This is what I was looking at. All right, was that he got 14 targets last week. Okay, but it still resulted in just 85 scoreless yards. All right, but I know it was one of, I think that was his best game of the season. But his average intended air yards are 5.9, and it's actually lower. And his his yards per route run is worse than MVS. All right, and this game he's going to be getting the slot corner Marlon Humphrey. So I don't know if Juju is going to be a start, man. You might be right about Claypool. And Deontay Johnson being back, because it seems like there's 2 wide receivers that feed and the other one starves. So I think the one's going to starve this time is Juju, in my opinion. But what's your thoughts on that, Big Time?
I mean, what I'm pretty much calling for is like Washington starving and Juju and Claypool feeding, but it's very optimistic in my perspective.
But not Deontay Johnson?
He's injured, bruv.
No, I think he's back.
Yeah, he's back.
He is back?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he could get injured again. He's got injured like 5 times this season already. His back is not exactly made out of whatever Superman's made out of.
Okay, Doc, do you agree? And if say yes or no, and then move to Baltimore.
Make sure we're up on our injury news.
Maybe I want Deontay Johnson to be injured. Maybe
of
that's
course
what
you
it
do.
is.
You own Juju and Claypool.
Okay, this is what I don't like about Deontay Johnson. I'm going to get this off my chest. He always makes mistakes. He's always dropping balls or muffing punts that he's returning, and it's just irritating watching that. It's like they give him chance after chance after chance after chance, and it's like Antonio Brown wouldn't have done that. Like, he's not Antonio Brown. Move on from him. And throw it to Juju or Claypool, dang it.
Rant over. James Conner, I think, is a great start. I think
absolutely. Yeah. Same thing with Ben. Yeah, I like Ben.
Ben, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm a little more apprehensive, man, about the Ravens side of the ball.
Did we mention Ebron before we go to Ravens?
I'm not starting Ebron, man.
Okay. Just throwing it out there, but please continue. I'm sorry. I apologize, Doc. Just wanted to make sure we get it.
Yeah, the Steelers D is just so potent.
It's mighty.
And it makes me nervous about shooting on the Steelers. Now, if you drafted Lamar Jackson, where you drafted him, you paid to start him every single week. So you're starting him. But outside of Lamar Jackson, I mean, yeah, you'll probably start Mark Andrews because you paid up for him. So you have to start him. But I'm not starting anyone in that backfield because I'm
not starting anyone either.
Right?
Well, you are starting their top rusher. You are.
Okay,
Lamar
yeah.
Jackson.
I'm not starting Dobbins or Edwards because I don't know who's going to get it. I mean, there's the flashy J.K. Dobbins. Maybe he gets some passing work. Gus Edwards is the guy who's going to be, getting the most carries. But the Steelers are excellent against the run, man. And you've got I'm just not confident.
This
and I'm
could be the Justice Hill day.
Okay. All right. Gun to balls. Which one do you choose? J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards?
Edwards.
Dobbins.
Yeah. See, I go Dobby. Yeah, I go Dobby.
I don't go Dobby. I go Dobbinator.
It still sounds like a sex toy. Sorry.
I think that maybe since you like to use sex toys, maybe that's what you think it is.
I
But
don't.
I've never used one on myself
if
before.
if you ever heard Dominator, I'd be like, okay, but no, I would do Dobbins, mainly because of the fact that I think that that it's going to be they're going to need the points, they're going. Pittsburgh has a chance of being behind. I know that they have a big, throbbing, hard D, but they still might be behind, and so because of that, I think they're going to be throwing. And Dobbins is definitely the pass catching back. Edwards is more like the garbage time back, and I don't know if there's going to be garbage time. So I agree with Connor as far as if I had to choose between the two, I would do Dobbins over Edwards. Yeah. What about Hollywood?
Yeah. I'm starting.
Yeah, Doc.
Yeah. I don't know.
No. And you start the defenses on both, and of course Tucker. You're starting Tucker. What about the Pittsburgh kicker? Care? I mean, it's. I'm only mentioning it because it's bye week time, and people are looking to pivot. So.
I think there's gonna be a lot of red zone trips going around, so I'd do it.
Okay, cool. Benny Snell.
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Anything more we need to add to your favorite game of the week, there, Connor?
No, I'm taking upset. So Ravens are favored to win, but I'm taking the under, and I'm taking Pittsburgh to win by less than 4 points.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very close game.
I support that wholeheartedly. They're going to force Lamar Jackson to throw, and that's not typically has been a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on.
Next, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, the Denver Broncos. So, the Broncos are one of the less exciting teams for the season, which is really it's really bumming me down because we all had them as an interesting team for fantasy this year. They had some prospects, and look where it all went. Brian, do you think that you temporarily supporting the Broncos is responsible for their myriads of injuries?
Yes. Okay. Everything was cool. And as soon as I put that hat on, Von Miller gets hurt.
Well, now that we have it on film, I just want to let every Broncos player know that this man, it's his fault that all of that happened to you this year. It's all his fault.
So you need to take care of me, guys.
So this
you need
is,
to pay me.
This is what happens when you root
me to
for
stop
a different
rooting.
team than the city you live in.
You see the power I have. Pay me so I don't root for your team.
Exactly.
I'm talking to all you NFL teams.
You have to pay the channel.
My power.
Pay the channel, or we start sponsoring you, and you turn as bad as the Texans.
You see the power. Yeah. Yeah. All you guys thought was just it was Bill O'Brien. Nope.
Okay.
This guy. Yeah.
We got to stay on topic.
Herbert. Yeah, dude. That was the one that I was trying to. Herbert was the one that I was pivoting to from Rodgers. Yeah, so it's going to be a beautiful day in Denver. Herbert, I believe, played for Nebraska, so he's used to playing the cold. So I think he'll be okay. It's going to be 51 degrees, sunny, so that's going to be nice anyway. It's up there Mile High, which is conducive for long balls. He likes to throw them deep. He has a really strong arm, so it might actually be a really good game for him. Plus, the defense for Broncos are really strong and focused. They're kind of run funnel defense. Okay, so they focus on the run, so it's going to force him to pass. So I think he's going to have a really good game. So also I think Keenan Allen's going to have a great game, so I would shoot all over him. Hunter Henry, I think is going to have a good game. I would shoot on the Chargers defense, and I like Bagley, the kicker, because they're in the Mile High. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's conducive for long straight. So I think it's going to be good. I would definitely cease fire regarding the Chargers on Mike Williams and Justin Jackson and Joshua Kelly. I would just stay away from those guys. In fact, they might actually not be even worth rostering.
Yep, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about who wants to take Denver between the two of you?
I can take him. I'm not really excited about the offensive options. I'm definitely going Melvin Gordon if I've got him. I'm going to go with Noah Fant. I mean, he was banged up last week. He is kind of easing his way back in, but they're going to need him today. I'm starting Brian McManus.
Magnus.
Magnus. And, I'm on the fence about Judy. The Chargers defense is potent. I mean, they're kind of like a sleeper defense. They're not one of the top ones, but I mean, how many times did they get to Mahomes last week? Wait, no, they didn't play. That was Denver that played.
They played Jacksonville, dude.
Which-
Remember Robinson got 29 points on?
But Denver did play Kansas City, their defense, and they put up a decent game.
snow.
They sacked him a bunch.
In the snow.
Yeah, but that's Patrick Mahomes, and we're talking about Justin Herbert. So, I mean, there is a little difference there. But going back to the Chargers defense, they're potent, so it makes me a little nervous about some of the receiving options for Denver. But I would definitely go Fant, Gordon, McManus.
Would you start the D?
If I had no other option, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was between them or some, team that it's a shot in the dark, I'd take them.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything that you were saying there. Drew Lock is somebody I would cease fire on. Patrick I would cease fire on, and don't fall into the trap of Albert O just yet. Yeah, but because Fant is the guy. He's the guy. He was kind of like Connor pointed out last week. He was kind of banged up. They were limiting his snaps. So I think Fant is the guy that they want to go with. So anything that we missed there, Connor?
No,
But Lindsay, what about Lindsay? Lindsay might play. Does that change any of y'all's opinions on Gordon?
No, man, I'm not.
No.
I'm steering clear of that ship.
No,
Have been
but-
for a while.
Yeah, you wouldn't start Gordon, right, Connor?
I wouldn't. No.
No, okay, you wouldn't shoot on him, but you would, Doc, and
Yeah.
I would too if Philip Lindsay isn't there. If Philip Lindsay's there, then I would not.
So I'm taking the Chargers to win. I'm taking the over, and I'm taking LA to win by more than 3 points, which is what you said to win by. Okay, moving on.
Wait, what's the numbers? What's the number on that? When you say over, what's the number?
It's I knew you were gonna ask that. The one thing I don't have readily available.
He called it over on a score he doesn't know.
I've already read them all. But I minimized
Yeah.
that file so the screen could see our faces.
Yeah, but
It's a 44.5 point spread.
Okay.
To answer your question,
that would be helpful. That'd be helpful to say. Yes, thank you, sir.
your
Thank
mom's
you.
helpful. Okay.
Yeah, she is.
Let's-
Thank you.
Let's do the next one. The New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears. Now, the Saints are favored to win this game, but I'm actually picking the Bears.
Interesting. You want to just call the number right now?
Yeah, I'm
What's the over?
calling the under, and I'm calling the Bears to win by more than 5.
What's the number on the under?
42.5.
So, okay, sweet. This is another weather game. It's going to be 25 to 35 mile an hour winds.
Yes.
Gusts for over 40 mile an hour winds.
And this
so
is in Chicago.
the
This
Windy
is
City.
Breeze in Chicago. This is
New
the
Orleans.
game. You start the Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I wasn't worried about. I mean, like when we said at the top of the show, we were talking about players we were scared to play against. Not really. That's afraid of Kamara because Chicago is a really good run defense. And so if they are pretty much sure that that's what they're going to do, then they'll probably run Kamara. Then they'll probably put in a little bit of Latavius Murray. And also, who else runs the ball down there? Connor?
Voldemort.
Yeah. So they might put that guy in there too. So yeah. So I'm not as worried about him. I would start the defense though for both teams, of course, because of the wind. And I would start Jared Cook. Would not or shoot on Jared Cook. I would not shoot on Breeze, or Lutz. Lutz is somebody I would pivot away from. And then also any of the wide receivers for New Orleans. It doesn't matter about the situation. So, yeah, that's me on New Orleans. Doc, you want to take the Bears?
Yeah, the Bears. I guess you would start Montgomery, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you got to. It's going to be a run heavy game.
Yes.
Yeah, so you got to start Montgomery.
Mhm.
I guess you'd start Robinson.
Yeah, since he's playing.
Yes,
Well, but in this wind and coming out,
know,
not
but-
practicing.
there's
Rushing
gonna
and win.
there's gonna be some passes. There's gonna be someone going around, right? If Michael Thomas was playing, would you play him in this game?
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's the Bears. Like, Allen Robinson is a great, contested catch receiver guy, right? So you got to start him. A little tempted, similar to Cook, to start Jimmy Graham, because he's going to be, maybe a check down pass or someone short for Foles to probably overshoot. It wasn't windy, but but that's it for the. So I go Chicago D, Montgomery, Graham, and Robinson.
One quick note on Graham, that he's seen a target inside the 10-yard line at each of the last 2 games, and he gets the Saints defense that's yielded the 3rd most fantasy points to tight ends.
Ooh, I feel better about that pick now.
Yeah. So, and of course the windy conditions should matter less for him in the red zone.
Yep.
So, so that actually, Graham, I think, is a really good pick there. And of course, Foles, you're sitting Foles, or ceasefire on Foles. About Anthony Miller.
Ceasefire.
All right, so cool. All right, did we miss anything there?
No. We got everything.
Move on.
The Niners are the Seattle Seahawks. This one's going to be a good one. The Niners are favored to lose based off of my predictions. I'm taking the over on this game, and I'm taking Seattle to win by more than 3. The over-under is 53.5 for those wondering at home.
San Francisco D, where have you gone? I hardly know thee.
San Francisco D, where you be.
Yeah. Sit those guys. Actually, cease fire on those guys.
Sit that shit.
Yeah, I would cease fire on the running backs too, because we don't know what's going on, dude. Look at like Jerick McKinnon is like he's reportedly he's battling tired legs. Like, what is that? I'm old. I don't even know what
he's having too much lady friends over.
I think you're right. Yeah, his knees a little weak. Yeah, because of it. Well, that makes sense. Because
weak in the legs, bro.
Yeah,
specifically the hip flexors. It's hard to run whenever your groin and your hip flexors and extenders and ectenders and whatever you call them, when all those are just.
Those are the medical terms.
Wow.
Those are the medical terms for the part of your body you used to get down with.
Here's options for this game.
What's that?
Fantasy options for this game.
George Kittle on San
show.
Francisco.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I would shoot on Jimmy GQ. Yeah. I would shoot on Robbie Gould. And I would also do Ayuk. The Seattle, their defense also is a funnel defense that's tough against the run. That's another reason why I wouldn't start the running backs. So they rank the 30th against the pass.
Now, Doc,
they've allowed the most fantasy points to wide receivers this season.
May I? Because Doc had an interesting point that he told me earlier. We were talking about this.
I've been doing some research. I've been looking at who to put in the flex to cover for Aaron Jones, and so it's been between Fulgham and Ayuk, right? And one of the things that I was leaning towards Ayuk is his use in the jet sweep, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets a lot of love in that. But Seahawks defensive backs are especially good against jet sweeps. They handle that situation quite well, which could limit Brandon Ayuk's value there. I think, that there's all this talk about Ayuk. It seems like in total 49ers fashion for us to drool all over Ayuk and then Kendrick Bourne to just go off and have a day. That seems exactly like something that the coaching staff for the 49ers would do. That being said, I'm still starting Ayuk. I'm still starting Bourne. I'm starting Kittle. I'm starting Gould, and I'm starting Garoppolo. And really, I mean, you're starting most of your options, if not all, for the Seahawks, right? You're starting Russell Wilson, Lockett, Metcalf. What are y'all doing with the running back situation?
Oh, you beat me to the question. Yeah. How about you, Connor?
Yeah.
You had Carlos Hyde for a minute.
I still have him. No, I don't know.
Yeah,
The running. I was reading. Watch what happens. See if an alpha emerges. Act accordingly.
Okay. I don't think that Hyde's going to play.
I don't think he is either, man.
Yeah, I think hamstring is out. DJ Dallas is a tough bet because everybody saw that missed block that he did that almost killed the franchise. Almost made him limited. So
but Carson's a game time decision still.
Yeah.
It's a shit show. So just look, man. Just watch. Just
If
watch
Carson
what
is playing,
happens.
if Carson is playing,
Divest for this week.
if Carson is playing, do you play him?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because he's a tough guy. He might play through it, so you never know with that
Any
guy.
anything else? Because we got to wrap it up, boys.
Yeah,
I want to
I
go
think-
get some breakfast.
I think we did Lockett and Metcalf. Yeah.
I mean,
And,
but that's I know, right? Yeah,
and
but
then,
those guys are. Come on.
and the tight end for Seattle, you just don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the wide receiver 3-4 and backup tight end while we're at it?
No, but I do want to talk about people, things that people might be considering it's bye week time, and there's pivot time, there's injuries, so also might be somebody might want to think about. So yeah.
Really?
Olsen, Disley, Moore, those are all guys that that you don't know the situation that some of
But
these
you
people,
don't know
especially-
which one is gonna be the guy. You're playing.
That's why.
You're playing shit stick on a shit stick. You're
That's right.
taking a splinter out of the shit stick and playing shit stick with
That's
that.
right.
and
And that's
some people have no choice but to do that.
and that's the information I'm giving to my brothers.
This is what I would say. Wouldn't you pick up the guy on the Browns before you'd pick up Olsen or?
What if he's already been
Disley?
picked up?
Yeah, dude. We're talking about 12 to 14 team leagues, dude. You're playing in the 10.
Oh God,
you know,
why are you in a 14-team league?
they're out there.
They exist.
Yeah. So we're trying to service everybody, not just 10 teams, even though we think that's the best. But yeah, man, just throwing it out there. All right, it's moving on.
Okay, back to the players that matter. I'm joking. These teams don't matter. The Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Talk about two teams relevant for fantasy. Boy, oh boy. Now, the Cowboys were relevant until Dak left.
What are you talking about? The Eagles have been decent. It's just if you can pick the players that are good.
Okay, yeah, but they're not consistent. 1 week Deshaun Jackson does good. 1 week Zach Ertz does good. 1 week Dallas Goedert does good. 1 week.
Well, we know when Zach Ertz is not going to do good, which is when he's playing.
Yeah, Zach Ertz really hasn't done
Because
good.
his ball Zach Ertz. So
Exactly.
I'm taking the under on this game, understandably, in my opinion, and I have the Eagles winning by less than 11, which is the supposed spread. Okay, I'm sorry, it was 11. Vegas has adjusted it to 10.5. The over/under is 43. I'm taking the under.
All right. Yeah, we were talking about the news about Goddard, so don't start Goddard, right? Because it seems like it's a trap right before the
That's
bye.
my advice.
Okay, so start Richard Rodgers then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Wentz.
Okay, Wentz has thrown 10 touchdowns
Mhm.
and 10 interceptions on the year.
Mhm.
He's putting up a poor man's Jameis Winston numbers.
Yeah, he's running. He also, I think, has one of the highest rushing touchdowns. I think, if not number one.
Yeah, he
He's
doesn't have as many as
currently-
Murray.
He is currently, I mean, he was QB6 last week.
Yeah,
His
Yeah,
best was QB4 and his worst was QB15. So you've never been totally, absolutely burned by Wentz. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like you think he is if you look at his numbers, but if you look at his fantasy output, he is ahead of Lamar Jackson. He has done better this year than Lamar Jackson. Like, how does that make us all feel? Like, as fans, that is the reality of Carson Wentz.
Don't draft high on a quarterback.
Quarterbacks. But Carson Wentz is definitely a start against Dallas.
Agreed.
Don't play Miles Sanders. He's out.
Uh-huh.
Boston Scott. Play Travis Fulgham. Play Rogers or Roberts, the tight end.
Rodgers, like Aaron.
I hate to be this guy, but technically the reason why Wentz, because that stat made me go crazy the second you said it. The Ravens have had a bye, so Wentz has had one more week to make points than Lamar has. So Lamar could theoretically.
For the bye.
What?
That's accounting for the bye. Because I heard the stat on another very reputable show.
Well, okay, when you look at the Yahoo app, and you know how it has the guys ranking on the year for their position. So when you pull up Wentz, he's ranked as 10, and when you pull up Jackson, he's ranked as 8. So I don't know how they're getting that. Maybe he scores more in Yahoo. I don't know. My point is, I think Jackson is going to overcome Wentz this next couple weeks.
Okay, I would definitely start Wentz in this game. I would definitely start shoot on Fulgham and Elliott, the kicker, because I was pivoting to him until Sly became available, which I probably should have stayed with that and stayed with Elliott since I got 5 points from Sly. But yeah, and Scott, dude, I like your thing on Boston Scott. I know it's kind of not as sexy, but Dallas runs defense does rank 30th, so good call on that. The Rager, I would definitely cease fire on Rager because I'm a little nervous about him. It was a thumb injury, so I don't, and I know that he seems to be good to go, but I don't know. I just like Fulgham a lot better, so I would go ahead and put him in there. And it just seems like it's going to be like a lot of running towards the second half. The only person I would shoot on for Dallas is Zeke. And that's what I can't believe that Zerline has fallen so low, dude. That hurts my heart, but it is what it is, dude. So, yeah, and like even Dallas, like Amari Cooper, I know he's been doing well, but he's gonna have Darius Slay on him, so I don't think that's a good matchup for him. And who's going to be thrown to him?
I'm really nervous for the just I don't want to see anyone else get injured.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean that's something that you think about, every time.
Well, just the Eagles are they're like an organization that's made out of glass, man. I mean, they make the Texans look like the picture of health.
You're right about that. Yeah, they have been hit by the injury bug the past couple of years, but they invested in Deshaun Jackson, and that's what happens.
Well, and Wentz, I think it's a culture thing. I think it's their trainer. He doesn't know how to keep people healthy. Shots fired at you, Mr. Eagles trainer guy. You don't know how to work out.
Okay. Connor wants to pump you up. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to pump your team up. I want to pump you out of your position is what I want to do because you ain't know how to do it.
Did we miss anybody, Doc?
Nope.
All right.
Moving on to the final game of the week, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New York Giants.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Well, they're changing location.
All of the listeners out there whose ears just got blown out.
What?
Yeah.
Nope, not gonna get me.
Not even on the show. So, I originally thought that the Giants were gonna upset the Buccaneers, and then I remembered, wait a minute. They looked like shit playing the Eagles last week. How in the hell are they going to beat the Buccaneers?
Yeah, good point. Good point. Best behavior.
I'm going with the trends that Vegas is setting because Vegas has them winning by a lot. To be exact, the spread is 45 points, and it's a 12.5 line for Tampa Bay. So they are the favorites to win by far. I'm taking the under, and I'm going by Tampa Bay, but I think they're going to win by less than 12. I think it's going to be a close game.
And Doc, who would you shoot on for Giants?
For the Giants, golly, man, I don't even know. The Tampa Bay defense is so solid that it makes me leery to go on. I'm definitely ceasefiring on Daniel Jones. Sterling Shepard, maybe I'll give him a start. Just because
a little gimpy.
He's gimpy. Okay, then Slayton. Slayton's who the guy is going to be. I think.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't start or shoot on anybody for the Giants, and that's another thing that I was thinking about. Because I'm a Dallas Goedert owner. I was like, you know what? Okay, let me put him in the starting lineup because that matchup is so delicious. But let's say that if he gets ruled out the last second, who do I pivot to Sunday night? So I went through our pool, and you're pretty much the only tight end. Well, I have two choices, Cameron Brate or Evan Ingram. And I'm like, ooh. Yeah, that's not worth the risk. I need a win this week. But yeah, so I would cease fire on all Giants. I wouldn't shoot on any Giants. Connor, Bucks, who you shooting on, sir?
I'm gonna give Fournette another start.
Okay.
So we're starting with Tampa Bay is Fournette.
Yeah.
Well, for me, yeah. Obviously you're starting Brady. You're starting.
Yeah, Yeah, he took over the pass catching. By the way, Fournette took over the pass catching
Yeah.
duties. Yeah.
I guess you're starting Gronk if you have him.
Didn't they call him the nickelback? Ugh, that's a terrible thing to call somebody.
Tom Brady, starting the defense, starting the kicker. I mean,
Scotty?
Miller.
no,
Yes.
I'm not a believer.
Mm.
He's gonna take one more week for him to solidify himself before I start paying attention.
Well, one more week, then Antonio Brown's gonna be back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see why I said that the way I said it then, huh?
Oh yeah, I got you. I fell into your trap, sir. You're so
Mhm.
wily. Coyote.
So, anything else?
Nope,
Yeah,
that's it.
no. Well, I mean, the only points I would want to make is, of course, I told you about Fournette, but the Evans, he does draw James Bradbury, who's like in the past couple of years has always had his number. So, even though I mean that's something to consider, but yeah, you're not going to sit him with Godwin out.
Yep.
Against the Giants. So yeah, man, I think that would do it. That would do it on that. So yeah, that is our week 8 shoot or ceasefire show. Now if you enjoyed watching and gals, if you enjoyed watching 3 generational beefheads bantering about, what should they do there, Doc?
They should smash that like and subscribe button
And if they don't like it,
so you can get alerts. If you don't like it, you can just click the thumbs down if you don't like it. But if you really want to let us know, like if you really want to give it to us, stick it to us. Click it twice.
Yeah.
Twice. Yeah. And of course, we need to thank our sponsors. You want to take this one, Connor?
The Sports Hosts app is the premier app for all sports fans. Get on it, guys. Get it while it's gooby.
and what's our other ones, Connor?
Oh, I'm doing both of them. I'm honored. The pride of Sunnyside, the exclusive Houston radio, high volume radio music, guys. Tune in. They got a lot of great programs. They got a lot of cool stuff, and just real great guys to work with. We've been on the show. We love working with them, and we love being on there each week.
Oh yeah. It's time for the parting shots, Ethan.
Yeah, I'm going to be cheap. Going back to what we were talking about between quarterbacks, I think I figured out why we have some conflict in our stats. I'm looking at total fantasy output, and he's looking at points per game.
Ooh, look at the Doc figuring that out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Figure out why there was discordance, so our listeners are not led astray.
I was glad that I wasn't the only one who was upset by that stat.
Well, I mean, even if he's you didn't draft him to be the number 6 quarterback.
That's
so.
a very good point.
Yeah. And Connor, parting shot, my brother.
Well, I'll keep it water since we're on the topic of Wentz. One thing I do want to point out is Wentz has done better than Lamar Jackson so far. But guys, he can get injured whenever he wants to. That's his superpower. So have a contingency plan.
Especially when he wants to. Man, an ACL tear would be pretty nice right about now.
I know I can't be a real quarterback. I might as well just get injured and watch Foles do it again.
Foles is on the Bears.
And he also watched Foles win him a championship.
Yeah, he sure did.
He sure did.
All right, and my parting shot, of course, is it's Halloween. Have fun, guys. Make sure and respect each other. The social distancing, even though it seems like we're all kind of been living Halloween the whole time. Everybody's afraid and they're wearing masks. This is the special. This is the special day. So enjoy yourself. Have fun. Be responsible. Social distance. Wear a mask under your mask, so to speak, and make sure and wipe off all the candy before you give it to the kids. Make sure and just sanitize that stuff. If you guys go do that.
Yeah, because it's really hard to put the needle in the candy and also wash your hands off. So just make sure you do that.
Candy and rubbing alcohol. That's.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Just
man.
give all the kids vodka shots because vodka has alcohol in it. It'll
Open
keep
the package.
Diseases.
Open the package, put it in there, and put the contents and give it to the kids. Yeah, and then wash your hands. Yeah, for 20 seconds. So
420.
Jeez. On behalf of Ethan, the Doc Marshall, Connor, the Gut Marshall, and me, your humble MC, Brian the Amigo Baldwin, I want to thank you for watching. We hope the best for your teams and the worst for your enemies. And remember, everybody, in fantasy football as in life, don't dream it, be it. Have fun tonight. Happy Halloween, guys.